What's up everyone? My name is Marie, welcome to my channel and welcome to another speed build. So for today's video I am back in the world of Britechester and I'm building a townhouse, and I had a lot of fun with this because, well, for one, it has been a while since I've built anything in Britechester, and I really like Britechester because it reminds me of Amsterdam in a way. Like, it definitely doesn't look like Amsterdam, but the townhouses and things that you see around or in the like surrounding area of this lot, it kind of reminds me of Amsterdam, and I am from the Netherlands. I live very close to Amsterdam, so it kind of reminds me of home, and I think that that is just fun. And I just love building townhouses every once in a while, even though I do have a kind of a difficult time with them for some reason. I don't know, I always think that it's a little bit difficult to get started with them. So that's why I did have some difficulties with this one as well. I was looking at a reference picture that I found on Pinterest of a townhouse that I really liked. So I kind of looked at that picture. However, the house is not too like special or difficult when it comes to the shape of the house, but that is kind of characteristic when it comes to townhouses. I think, in my opinion, they're nothing too special. They look really fancy, but they're just boxes, basically. And that's why I sometimes have a difficult time with them. But I don't know, I think that this one turned out really nicely. I was playing around with the porch area, like the wraparound porch and the roof over the wraparound porch and stuff. And I was just playing around with that a little bit, and I think that it turned out really nice. It definitely looks really fancy. One thing I always do when it comes to building townhouses is I usually use medium wall height, at least for the ground floor. So that's what I did for this one as well. I think the ground floor is medium wall height, and then the first floor or the second floor, however you say it, is just the short wall height or the normal wall height. And I think that that is kind of, I don't know, I always do that for townhouses, and I think it makes it look a little bit more realistic. And I was definitely going all out with the Discovery University build items that we have. I used that little fence on the balcony, and I'll also use it on the porch, around the porch. And I used the columns and stuff, and I think I'll also use doors and windows from Discovery University. I think those are from Discovery University. I'm pretty sure they are. But yeah, figuring out the window situation was a little bit difficult. And I ended up placing way too many windows as well, which is a problem for me. I am just a little bit addicted to windows, I would say. I love using large windows, and I love just lots of natural lighting. So sometimes I go a little bit overboard with placing windows, and that's what happened for this house as well. So I ended up having a little bit too many windows, which makes the floor plan a bit difficult because then you just have a lot of windows on your walls and you don't have any space for, let's say, kitchen counters or a TV or something like that, and it just makes it a little bit difficult sometimes. So I think I ended up deleting a couple of windows, but still the house has lots of them, and I think it just makes it look very luxurious in a way. I was also thinking that this townhouse was probably really old. It has been renovated, of course, but it still has like those older or traditional aspects to it. And one thing I did for this townhouse as well that I usually never do for my builds is I used only one solid wallpaper for the whole build, on the exterior of the build, that is. I never do that. I usually play around with different colors, different textures to make it look a little bit more interesting. For example, I would have made the bump out, like the octagonal bump out at the front of the house, I would have made that a different wallpaper, and then the same goes for the little bump out with the balcony on the back of the house. I would have done that I would have given that a different wallpaper, but for this house, for some reason, I don't know, I was just feeling going for the solid black or gray brick for the entirety of the house, and I think that was a great decision. I think it looks really nice, and I created that like stark contrast with the white windows and the white pillars. I think the roof trims, I ended up replacing the white roof trims for black wood trims or gray ones. I'm not quite sure. Oh yeah, here you can see that I changed them out for black ones because there were just, at some point, there were just a little bit too many stark white, like bright white details on the house. It was just getting a little bit too busy, in my opinion, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I just got rid of the white roof trims, but then we still have the white fences and the white columns and stuff, and the white windows, of course. But then for the doors, I don't know if you could see that, but the front door, I swapped it out for white and blue because I wanted to add that one little detail with color for some reason. I was just really feeling the blue front door. I don't really like that swatch. It's not my favorite type of blue, if that makes sense. But yeah, for this house, I just liked it. It was definitely a choice. Like, I was thinking that it was a choice. And then the back door, like the door to the back porch and the door to the balcony, I made those white and either black or very dark brown wood. I don't really know. I can't really see the difference with this lighting. But yeah, I wanted to add a couple of little details like that. So that's what I did. And then the landscaping, it doesn't look like it because it's a speed build and I didn't record all of it, but it took me forever. Like, I did not know what to do with the landscaping for this house. I was having a very, very difficult time with it. And then I just decided, since it was a townhouse, I didn't want this house to be too lush and too green, like the backyard. I didn't want it to be very green because it's a townhouse. It's in the middle of a town. I mean, there is a lot of greenery around in this area, but at the same time, it's still a townhouse. So I wanted it to be a townhouse in that sense as well when it comes to the landscaping and the backyard. So I tried to use a lot of terrain paint, as you can see. So this house, basically, the backyard for this house is a big terrace, if that makes sense. And then I played around with those fences from Discovery University, those debug fences. And I used a lot of those. I created a little like flower bed, or I don't really know if that's the word for it, but it looks like a flower bed to me. And I just used those curved fences, those debug fences. And I think it looks really nice. I think it gives the house like, I don't know, it makes it look a little bit different, and it was definitely a lot of fun to play around with that because I have not done a backyard or landscaping like this, I think, ever. So yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun. However, I did also place down a lot of plants and greenery everywhere because I did want it to fit in with the rest of the world, like the surrounding areas. You can see that there is a lot of trees, a lot of greenery around this place. So yeah, that's what I did. And I also placed these debug, I don't know what you would call it, like those little fences with the chain. I thought that that was a fun detail, like maybe the owner of the house has the key. Well, obviously they have the key to like unlock the chain, if that makes any sense, so they can park their car next to their house. I don't know, I thought that was a fun detail. So I added that little fence and the car, and I just thought it was something different and something fun, and also something to fill up the space a little bit. But yeah, like I said, I was struggling a lot with the, yeah, just the landscaping of this place. Then on the side of the house, there is a lot of grass, and for the longest time, I was not sure what to do with that empty grass patch. In my opinion, it looked a little bit weird. Like on one side of the house, it's all tiles or stone. And then on the other side of the house, there's this random grass patch, but I kind of left it like that. I did place a couple fences and like some plants and shrubs, but I kind of left it like that because, I don't know, in the end, I thought it made sense and it really fit in well with the rest of the world, in my opinion at least. So yeah, I kind of left it like that. But yeah, you can also see that the landscaping, it took me quite a while because we're still on the exterior of the build. And we're already almost 10 minutes in, so yeah, it definitely took me a while to figure it out. But at the same time, I had a lot of fun with it, and I think it looks really nice. But yeah, shortly we'll be moving on to the interior of the house. And the floor plan was interesting because this house is actually really small. I know that it looks kind of big right now because, well, it kind of looks like a tall building, which it is a tall building. but the inside of the house is actually really small. And then because I was using medium wall height and I needed to place a staircase, I wanted to use a staircase and not a ladder. But the staircase, as you can see, is taking up so much space, which made it so difficult to create a floor plan. So in that process of me figuring out the floor plan, I did have to replace some windows and things and move over some of the doors and stuff like that. I didn't really record all of that because you can see that the floor plan is I already figured it out in the video at this point, but it was a struggle. However, I'm really happy with the way that it turned out, and that is because what I decided to do is to put the living room upstairs, which I thought was really fun. And I don't know if that is realistic, but I'm really happy that I did it because, I don't know, it gives the house a very interesting vibe. So basically, when you walk in the door, when you walk through the front door, there is a little entryway area with just a little end table and like a place to hang your coat and stuff. But then you kind of walk straight into the office area, like the office nook. Because I was thinking that this house could be for a professor who is teaching at Britechester University or Foxbury University. Doesn't really matter, but I was thinking a professor living alone with their cats. Or just one cat, singular, I think. But it could be two as well. Yeah, so I figured that the sim would need a dedicated office space, so I just kind of put that right when you walk into the front door, which made a lot of sense because there's also like the back door right there. So maybe when it's summer, but they still have to work, they can just sit there, open the door, and still kind of have that outside feel, if that makes any sense. And I was just really liking that. And then downstairs there is the kitchen and the dining area and the bathroom as well. So that's what I put on the ground floor of the building of the house. And then upstairs there is the living area, like I said, and the bedroom. And I don't know, it was also the only way that I could make this floor plan work, so I didn't really have a choice. But I also ended up really, really liking it. I think that it's very unique, and it's definitely unique to me because I have never done this before. Like, I always go for the traditional kitchen, living, dining downstairs, and maybe a bathroom downstairs as well. And then the bedrooms and the bathrooms are going to be upstairs. That's usually how I do it because that's what I see. That's what I'm used to. That's every house I've ever been to is like that. So it just never occurred to me to have the living space upstairs, but it's not weird. Like, I think a lot of houses actually have that. I mean, if not, they have like the kitchen upstairs. I think there is a certain type of house that has like the kitchen upstairs for some reason. I don't really know what I'm talking about right now, but it's just something that came to mind. But yeah, I decided, like I said, to have the kitchen and the dining and study downstairs, and then the bathroom or the bedroom and the living area upstairs. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just really pleased with the way that this turned out. The kitchen is actually pretty spacious, but for some reason I like that for this house. The kitchen and the dining area are my least favorite part of the house, I would say. I don't really know. Like, I like how it turned out, but I was also struggling with the kitchen a lot. I think I recorded a lot of that as well. I was having a difficult time with the cabinet or the counter situation for some reason because it was placed weird underneath the windows. The windows are centered a little bit weird because I alt placed them, and that made it so I had a little bit of a difficult time with placing the counters and the stove and stuff. In the end, I figured it out, and I also placed a couple of cat trees. There is a cat tree downstairs, and then there's a cat tree upstairs as well because, yeah, like I said, I was thinking that this house could be for a professor teaching at either Britechester or Foxbury, or maybe even both. I don't really know how that would work, but yeah, I thought that a professor would be a fun career to build for, or a fun type of sim to build for. And I was thinking that they were living alone, but you could have a couple of sims in this apartment or in this townhouse actually, because, well, there is only one bedroom, so it would have to be a couple, like an actual married couple or a dating couple. But there is a double bed in the bedroom, which is accessible from both sides. So you should be fine in that department. But yeah, I was thinking that the sim was living alone for some reason. I just like that. I think that they are living with their cats, or I keep saying cats, so maybe they have 2 cats. But at the time when I was building, I was thinking of them having 1 cat, and I don't know, I just liked it. I like the idea of a sim living here with a cat. I just think that townhouses like this are perfect for cats. I don't know why. It's just something that comes to mind whenever I'm building a house like this. But yeah, as far as this furniture style of the house goes, by the way, and the kitchen as well, I was kind of looking for a mixture between very old and dated furniture and more like modern pieces. So that's kind of what I was going for. You can see that the kitchen counters look a little bit more dated and a little bit older, and yeah, just kind of appropriate for an older townhouse like this. But then, for example, in the bedroom, I tried to go for like a little bit more, well, it's not even that modern, but the bed is a little bit more modern, but then there's also a very like a little bit more dated looking dresser. I don't know. I was just kind of going for a mixture of furniture that doesn't really go together all that well. Yeah, I was just kind of liking it because you can tell, for example, in the kitchen here that the fridge and the stove have recently been kind of renovated. They were probably like replaced with newer ones kind of recently, but then the counters are a little bit more dated. I don't know if that makes any sense. I don't know if it looks like that to you, but that's kind of what I was going for. Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of what I did. And then the bathroom is a little bit more modern, except for the sink. But it has a pretty modern shower and toilet and stuff. And I also made sure to place a kitty litter box in the bathroom as well, so you should be fine there. I don't know, I thought of placing it in the bathroom because litter boxes are something that I always forget when I'm building for a household that has a cat. Like, I always forget the litter box for some reason. So I always end up placing it outside on the porch somewhere, which kind of defeats the purpose of having a litter box. But yeah, for this house, I actually remembered. So I placed it in the bathroom and you should be fine there. But you can see that the bathroom that I just furnished is the only bathroom in the house. So yeah, there is only 1 bathroom, but I think that that should be fine because the house only has room for 2 Sims. So 1 bathroom for 2 Sims is perfect. In my opinion, that always works really well for me at least. So that's what I ended up doing. But yeah, you can see that I moved on to the upstairs living area and it's, I don't know, it looks so cozy to me. I was having so much fun with it. And I was also thinking that the professor that lives here in their downtime, they really enjoy crafting and reading, like reading books, reading magazines and stuff. So I kind of placed some nifty knitting clutter around as well and a couple of magazines, and they have like, yeah, just kind of magazines underneath the coffee table, but also next to the couch, and then this big bookcase that I was imagining was full of books that they need for like, that maybe they teach out of or something like that, or that probably have something to do with the subject that they teach. And I was thinking that the professor living here could be either a history teacher or a geography teacher or something. I don't know. I know that those 2 subjects are not the same in any way, but for some reason in my mind, history and geography kind of, it's probably because me when I was younger, when I was still in high school, I was really into both geography and history. So they are kind of in the same like field of interest, I would say. They're not the same, of course, but they have like, in a way, they do have something to do with each other. So I figured that the teacher living here, they teach either history or geography. I don't know why, like it's not like you can tell by the stuff that they have or the furniture that they have, but it was just kind of the vibe that I was getting from this whole house. So maybe they teach both. That could also be a thing. I don't know, but I also placed some like cat clutter, some little cat statues and things. And yeah, I also placed a couple of decorations on the wall that I thought would be appropriate for a history or geography teacher. I don't really know. I was having fun thinking about the person living here. And then the bedroom, I actually really like the bedroom. I really like the wallpaper that I use in here. I kind of placed it on a whim because I knew that I wanted something more colorful in the bedroom, something a little bit different, but still the same vibe as the rest of the house. So, but I also wanted to play around with a little bit of color. So I saw that swatch of the wallpaper in the catalog and I just placed it down just to see what it looked like. And I actually really liked it. And it was the first swatch I tried. So I just kind of left it. I was really happy with it. And then the swatch of the bed combined with it, I think it just looks really nice and very cozy and very warm and colorful and sunny, and I don't know how to explain it, but I just really like the overall vibe of this bedroom. But as you can see, for example, the nightstands next to the bed are very modern looking. So I don't know, now that I'm looking back at the footage, I actually use a lot of older looking furniture. But in my mind, I was trying to create like a little mixture of modern and older. So for example, the nightstands next to the bed are a little bit more modern. Maybe they got those like newer from like IKEA or something. I don't really know. But yeah, that's kind of the overall vibe that I was going for. And I really enjoyed decorating and cluttering up this little space where the dresser is. I don't know. I was just really enjoying the overall color swatches combined together for this bedroom. So yeah, I was having a lot of fun with that, and the bedroom actually turned out to be well, not very big, but it's a very long space. Like it's kind of narrow, but it's pretty long. So I had space for an extra ottoman at the end of the bed and some pillows, and yeah, it's very spacious, but at the same time very cozy in here. So I was definitely very much enjoying that. And I just decorated the place a little bit more with some, I don't know, historic paintings. I don't really know, but that's kind of what I was trying to go for anyways. And then off of the little living area upstairs, there is this balcony, and I just furnished it pretty generic. There is an easel up there and a little couch to hang out when the weather is nice. And then I actually moved on to the backyard. So I placed an outdoor bin, obviously, because you would need that. And I also think that I placed a chess table. So you have a couple of skill building items in this house, which I think is really nice. There's an easel and a chess table, so that's great for gameplay. And yeah, I just placed a couple of plants and stuff around. And then in their backyard, they also have a dining table, so they can just do some outdoor dining with friends, family, and I gave them a grill as well. So just all of your basic outdoor activities that your Sims would enjoy, I kind of gave them. There is also a nice seating area outside in the backyard as well, where you can just sit down, enjoy the nice weather and stuff. And I placed a couple of lanterns. I was really enjoying the fact that I placed that little fountain in the flower bed. I never ever use those items. I never use those fountains, but for some reason it just fit in here perfectly. It fit perfectly with this build. So I decided to just go for it, and I liked it there. So I left it there. But yeah, I just created this little seating area with a couple of plants, a couple of lanterns, just made it a little bit cozy. And I think I also placed down a couple of bikes because we got bikes with university, so I thought it'd be fun to place a couple of those as well, because the person that lives here, they probably ride their bike around all the time. They also have a car, but I figured that like if they have to go to the university to go to work, they would probably ride their bike because it's very close by. But yeah, that's already going to be it for this build. So I really hope that you enjoyed it. You can definitely go ahead and download it off the gallery if you want to. My username on there is Simmarysims. You can also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram if you'd like. My username on there is Simmarysims as well. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next build. Bye!